a course of study doesn't necessarily have to be your passion, right? I don't deny that part. The fact that when it's something you are excited about, it's always easier. But it doesn't mean if you are not excited about it that you cannot also excel at it. So when we come back, I'll continue the remainder of my aspire to my career. Thank you. Put your hands together for me now. So right about now, before I bring up the person that will take the citation for our first speaker, I would see, I like people's life to change. I love it so much. Forget that I'm always funny. I want people to change. You get, so everybody can make it. So everybody will ask me for 2K. Because imagine everybody make it now, and I make it too. Nobody saying, sir, I made this in 3 days ago. You get, so that's my goal. So now, please, if you have your writing material, raise it up. Either your lecturing writing material or your stuff. Thank God we gave everybody that registered the daughter, so you don't have the excuse. You get, now, I always say this before the speaker comes up, so we can know what we do. Don't write down the inspirational quotes alone. You can find many of that. Here are winding in. WhatsApp status. You have to like with all the motivation you need on their status. Am I lying? They always write all these quotes like they only see the champagne. They don't know the champ's pain. Right? They will say something like, oh, rain that beat us today will wash our car tomorrow. So if the motivation you need, go to your wall of status. But rather, write down action. Write down stuff like, don't just say, this guest speaker said, when you fall, you rise. Or when you soak inside water, like Gary, you shall rise. You get no, write down action plan. So if you get the guy saying this is what happened to me, this is what I did, write down things you want so that I can be accountable. Write stuff like I will call this person to make inquiry about this. You get, because I listen to this stuff, there's a way you feel motivated and ideas come in your head. Write down those ideas. Not just it's not a what is called a dictation class. I be like, what is it? You just want to write down the point. That's good, but make sure you write down your own thoughts, not just the speakers, but things that are crossing your mind, things you want to work on, who you want to reach out to, you want to find out the price of this. You get. So put your hands together for me once again, gentlemen. Alright, so that everyone, ladies and gentlemen, I also like to recognize one of our guest speakers that walked in while the dean was talking. That is Mr. Melvin, representing Mr. Baba Tunde. I'm sorry about that. Let me listen. Representing Dr. Arize Madeke. Representing Dr. Arize Madeke. Please get your mind to the commissioner. Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry about the mix-up. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, take the citation for our first speaker. Please help me welcome Daniel Dewey. Let us wait there for Daniel Dewey as come to take the citation for our first speaker today. Also, the testimony can we give our resounding welcome to Mr. Babatunde? Let's have my hands together for Mr. Babatunde. Thank you so much. Wow, can we do that once again? He's a promising young man. Why are you blushing? Focus on your studies.
Babatunde Akin Moses profile. Babatunde Akin Moses is currently the CEO and co-founder of Sycamore, a peer-to-peer learning platform that connects lenders to borrowers using technology. Prior to Sycamore, he has had experience in consulting with KPMG and PwC, where he specialized in accounting, tax, finance for energy, utilities, and mining companies. He has a bachelor's degree in economics and is also a chartered accountant and an MBA holder for Lagos Business School, with a brief stay in IESES Business School for an exchange program. He loves to write about business, economic policy, startups, inspiration, and entertainment. He is also deeply passionate about making Nigeria and Africans as a whole a much better place to thrive and prosper for all. Please welcome Mr. Babatunde Akinmosi.
Good afternoon, everybody. You know, that was on my citation for people that are just coming. I'm not the guest speaker. Quickly, I just need to announce a couple of things. First things first, please, we found out a lot of people are dropping their meal ticket. Last month we gave you the meal ticket. If you don't have your meal ticket, there is no food for you. I'm so sorry. And it's gone. Don't photocopy it. Don't get funny again. Thank you. Also, please, I'd like us to recognize the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Babalola. Please, can we join our hands together for together? Thank you so much for joining us. Yes. Right about now, before our guest speaker comes up, please do not litter the floor, either with your meal ticket or with anything else. Try not to litter the floor. It's quite important. Shortly before the keynote speaker comes up now, I'm going to be bringing up the Deputy Vice Chancellor. Please let's join my hands together for her. Professor Babalola, to thank God to give us a welcome. Can we do that clap one more time? It's important to have the IFUMSA. Let's do it one more time. Thank you so much. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I think I'd like to use the clap. Is it ready for clap? So the provost in attention, the dean of the campus name, I think was Kaiser welcome, and the keynote speaker. Great students. Do we have our lecturers around? No, you should bring your lecturers next time. The dean is there, so it should not be alone. So on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, I congratulate the dean staff for this wonderful program. And it's new to medicine. It's good that our students are thinking along this line, because we should not only be treating patients as medical doctors. We should, deviate a little bit to something else that is not in hand with the common thing. Because this life is not vibrant, it's dynamic, and you should move with the trend. So when I saw the topic, I was very, very happy that this is good. And that has been the vision of our VC. And if VC were to be here, I'm sure we'll be very happy. Entrepreneurship has been hammering it. And the vision was that every student, not only medical students, every student of OAU must have at least a school before graduation. And that is why we reintroduced it. And we embedded entrepreneurship into SEO 03 and SEO 04. So we designed SEO 03 to mainly be for theory of entrepreneurship. The SEO 04, you will learn a skill. It's either you learn painting, you learn shoemaking, or all sorts. But for medical students, there are other areas, and I'm sure the keynote speaker will mention it. And for medical students, we should not only be treating patients. And in Nigeria, it's not so common. In developed countries, you have centers, maybe diabetic center, maybe any other center that deals with the human body. And what they do is that they tell you what you need to be doing so that you not be infected, so that you not be sick. But what we do is that somebody that is sick will just go and visit us through. So it should not be like that. It's before the sickness comes that you should be visiting those centers. And they will be guiding you on what to eat, what not to eat, what to do, how to walk. So that one is not so common here. And it's an area of entrepreneurship that you can dabble into after your graduation. So it is good now. Our MC said that you should not litter the floor with paper. It's another area for you. You can even look at things you can do. That all these ways, how do we relate it to medical life? So just think of something around you that can fetch you money, not only just treating patients. And the new thing now around the world globally is telemedicine. Telemedicine is not common in Nigeria. It's an area you can carve out for yourself and develop yourself the more, so that new things can come into this country. You don't all have to travel abroad. Let us look at the environment. How can we contribute to make our environment better? So on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Yitope, I welcome everybody to this epoch-making event. I think it's the second one and it's one of its kind. So clap for yourself again. So that's the good clap. I will take it to my faculty. Thank you very much and God bless.
We have our Personal Mba the IFUMSA is in Nigeria and one more time.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I stand on existing protocols, distinguished members here. It's a pleasure, like I said, to be here. I've never been to Ife before. I've always heard about Great Ife, and I always thought I would come over to just look at the environment. So it's quite amazing that the first time I'll come here, I'll be coming as a speaker. So I'm very grateful for the privilege, and I think it's an honor to be here. Thank you very much. I want to thank the organizers, IFUMSA. I can't remember all the names of the expos right now, but thank you very much. I was on your spaces yesterday, and very impressive what you guys have done. It's not easy to put this together, and as we've seen because of presentation, it's that is part of entrepreneurship, what you've done, right? Because you had to raise funding, you had an objective, and now you made this happen. So I think everybody that is part of this should be proud of yourself. Okay, so the theme of this summit, I believe, is the entrepreneur, the business, the future, and how to attract funding for your business. I'll be talking about attracting funding for your business because that's something I know a little bit about. Because in the course of my work, what we do is peer-to-peer lending. We actually, the fintech, we connect lenders and borrowers really using technology as a platform, and we'll see some of that. And I'll also be sharing a little bit of my story with you guys, so that you guys can learn and hopefully be inspired as well. This is the outline. This is a little bit about myself. Right now I run Sycamore. Sycamore is a peer-to-peer lending platform. And prior to that, I used to work at KPMG and PwC. I went for an MBA, and the rest is history. So I think this is a very interesting place to just sort of pause and reflect on how things have been. I think, honestly, without bothering you people or giving you motivation of aspire to inspire, I think the truth is, if someone like me could be an entrepreneur, I think it's possible for anybody to be an entrepreneur, right? And I don't think there was something the president said yesterday on Spaces that I disagreed with. He said something like he doesn't know if there's a lot of money in medicine. And I think I disagree with that, especially what's happening in recent times, right? How many of us here are following the events in the startup space? Is anybody here really conversant with what's happening in the startup space recently in Nigeria? Anybody? Okay. One person. Thank you very much, Chairman, for raising your hand. Guys, are you guys with me? Please, I can't hear you now. You guys are you sleeping? Okay. So nobody's following any startup here. Okay, does anybody know any health startup in Nigeria? Can somebody just cross one random health startup in Nigeria? Anyone? Unguvu Health, okay, that's one. Doctora. Okay, which other one? Health Tracker, yes, Health Tracker is a good one. Wella Health, yes, Wella Health. Helium Health is one. What about Sigama is not health? Sigama is fintech. Sigama is fintech. Does anybody here know 54G? Has anybody have heard of 54G? Anyway, look, because of the pandemic and everything that's happening, there is a huge opportunity for health tech in Nigeria. I think everybody here, you are probably operating in one of the most lucrative spaces. I know it seems far-fetched, but anybody that can operate at the intersection of health, technology, and finance in Nigeria today, I think that's gold. Right now, one of the recent trends I'll talk about in more detail later is, I'm sure everybody has heard about the fact that everybody wants to japa. We have a lot of people trying to japa out of Nigeria. Now, if you talk to 9 out of 10 Nigerians, a lot of people want to leave, right? But interestingly, that sort of creates an opportunity for the few people that are willing to stay, because specialized healthcare is getting very difficult and it's going to get more expensive. People are really investing in anything health right now, and anybody that is making that happen will stand to cash out. So let's look at the presentation. Okay, we have 3 main objectives at the end of this session. At least 3 things we have come across. I want to, really emphasize on the fact that entrepreneurial skills could be learned by anybody. I want to talk about how you can attract funding for a business. I know that's what is on a lot of people's minds at least. And I want to talk about some of the lucrative business opportunities in healthcare, or at least the trends that are going to shape healthcare in the next decade or 2. Okay, so I have definition of entrepreneurship here, or entrepreneur rather. Person who starts, owns, managing, willing to take loss in order to make profit. Part of why I highlighted some of those words in bold is, it's not, we have a lot of people that are sort of forcing everybody to go into entrepreneurship, and it's not necessary that everybody must be an entrepreneur. I'm not of that school of thought at all. I know it's ironic because I'm an entrepreneur, right? But the truth is, it is not compulsory. Those are attributes of entrepreneurship, right? And which is why I said everybody involved in organizing this should really be proud of yourself because it's not easy to do at all. Can you see what's on the slide? The light is preventing it, right? Okay, in any case, I'm sure the organizers will share it after the presentation. So here I have some of the things that I believe are some of the attributes you need to be a good entrepreneur in terms of mindset. Not just for you to start and operate a business, right? The first one here is, being bold. I think boldness is the biggest attribute of an entrepreneur. And luckily, we are, in a medical, going to bed last night. You want to be positive that all the speakers will come tomorrow, all the guests will come tomorrow, everything will go well, the mic will not mess up, and everything will keep going well for the next few days, right? So you have to, be positive-minded, and it's not only in business to exhibit that attribute. You have to be accountable and responsible. Be willing to acknowledge when you are at fault. You take the glory, you also take the fallouts as well. Resilience, very big. Tenacity, you have to keep going forward. You have to be able to take risks. That's all. You need very good social skills. I'm going to be talking about this more. You need to be able to plan. And one of my favorites, you need to be decisive and have the ability to take action. Action. Business, careers, anything that's going to make you successful, a big part of that is being able to take action. And then collaboration too. There is no man is an island. We need to be able to collaborate with your peers to make things happen. You have to be creative, innovative, goes without saying. You have to be open to feedback as well. So one of the attributes of successful people is being open to feedback and willing to change your mind when you have new and superior information. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the financing part. I'm going into the segment on how to attract financing for your business. I don't know the level of knowledge about some of these things, so I'll be breezing through. I don't know if we have opportunity for question and answer with the organizers, rather people just ask questions in the middle of the presentation. Is there any organizer that can? After the presentation, okay, that's fine. Thank you. All right, so source of financing for business, two basic sources of finance for business. There's equity, there's debt. Equity, you're selling shares in your business. Debt is a loan, basically, right? I think those are fairly clear. Quickly, just to look at some of the differences. Again, please don't get bogged down by this information. The slides will be available for you. We look at the nature of debt. You have an obligation to pay back. For equity, you have ownership. The term debt could be long, it could be short. But equity is usually long term, right? Who holds debt? A lender, and who holds equity? Shareholders. The risk of equity is higher, and the risk for debt is lower because if you give somebody a loan, you must pay back. But if you get equity in the business, you only make money when the business makes profit. The return on debt is interest. So you get return in terms of interest, and for equity, you get either dividends or the share value of your business increases. Collateral, there's no collateral for equity, but if you want a loan, in most cases, you have to draw collateral. Okay, so this is a very important point before we go forward. The type of, for those of us looking to start businesses, the type of business you want to start is also guides the kind of financing you get. So if you are going to run what I call a traditional business, that you want a business from day one, your focus is going to be revenue, maybe you want to start a hospital, whatever it is, right? Just a conventional business that focuses on revenue, cost. When you make your profit, you make profit. That's the kind of business that everybody is, sort of familiar with. Conventional business makes money. It could be anything, health related. Now, if you want to do a startup, it's slightly different, right? The way startups are organized, the business model is different. Now, for startups, they are trying to do something innovative that has the probability to grow very fast. So a lot of the companies that were mentioned before, they are mostly startups, Wella Health, Health Tracker, and all of that. They are trying to change business models. Now, because of what they are trying to do, they require huge funding initially. That is where you see, if anybody is following the business news, you see a lot of fundraising. People are raising millions of dollars, $1 million, $2 million. These are very young people, right? Some of them are the same age with, some of us in this room, and there are some of those businesses that have raised up to $100 million. And it's very possible, it's doable. You just need something innovative, scalable, and if it's going to be scalable, it usually has to do with technology. So what scalable means in this context is you can have a very large number of users within a relatively short time, and then you figure the business model out later, right? But the business model for startups is slightly different. They're going to raise money first, so you're looking for angel investors, venture capitalists. You raise money and then you go and change the world. At least that's what a lot of startups are trying. I don't know if that's clear. That's clear? Okay, thanks. And the third type of business, which a lot of people are also, cashing in on, is what I'll call lifestyle businesses. So these are the kind of businesses you can do on your own. Social media has made it a lot easier. So you could be a content creator, you could be a writer, anything that doesn't really tie you down. So we have a lot of people, especially in the health space. So if you're on Twitter or Instagram, there are a lot of people in the medical practice that are always, putting out good information about health and just trying to educate people. But they can move. They are not bound by any traditional business that keeps them in one place. I'm trying to remember some of their names nowadays. You guys know some of them now. Apropos Doctor, yes, very popular guy. And there are a lot of people that are dancing and singing now. So almost any profession, we have dancers on TikTok. It sounds funny, but a lot of those people are influencing for brands and they're making a lot of money. So you could actually decide to play in that space if you are good at acting, singing, or dancing, as long as you are passing the healthcare message there too. So it's also useful in that regard. I don't have a lot of time. I will be keeping some slides. In this slide, I talk about a lot of the sources of where you could get money from. Bootstrapping, basically you are starting the business with your savings. Family and friends, always the best option to start. That is what I did personally. My family and my classmates from Lagos Business School were the first investors in my business. Angel investors are basically rich people that you know that you can get money from. All right, so venture capitalists, I mentioned venture capitalists earlier. Venture capitalists invest in startups. Bank loan is a bank loan is a bank loan. Alternative lenders, people, all these apps where you can get small money from, but those is not usually good because they are very expensive, even if you can get it instantly. I'll just skip some of this. Yeah, so here I talk about the pros and cons of each type of financing, but again, we can also discuss this in Q&A later. But they are very simple, very straightforward, nothing too serious. I'm trying to get to how to attract funding for business, which is the crux of discussion. Okay, I'll just spend some time here, very important. So, if you're raising money for business, right, over 70% of the work is networking. Over 70% of the work is networking. When you see people, all these stories I've talked about, people raising $10 million, $20 million, it all boils down to how well you can network and who you know, as they say. It's not, but who you know doesn't mean you have to come from a wealthy home, or you need to have a good network in the past. You can start to build that network from today, from now, right? It's not always about how innovative or brilliant the person is, or whatever, right? It's about who you know, but you have to do the work of actually getting to meet those people, and that's what the next slide covers. You have to be able to show credibility, demonstrate credibility. That's based on what you've done before and have results, which is why you should always start small. You need to have a great team. No man is an island, like I said. Usually you have co-founders if you want to do a business, and it's a big factor because people usually look at the composition of the team. So for example, if you want to start a health tech, whatever, health startup, there are maybe 3 types of people you want in your management team. You need somebody that is medical, which is probably you. You probably want somebody that is good in technology, and you want somebody that is good at business or finance. So if the investors look at that team structure and they see health, check, business, check, tech, check, they are likely to invest in your business. Another very useful tool for raising funding is also being able to tell your story. You should find avenues to share your story, both from a personal side and even from a business side, right? What you've done. Have you closed a major deal? Do you have a major intellectual property? And this is where I would encourage us, if we're not, to be more active on social media, come to conferences like this, and don't keep quiet, share as much as possible. I always say this: you are the biggest brand ambassador of anything you're trying to do, whether your work, your school, your business mostly, right? You are the biggest brand ambassador. Then you also need to learn about law and finance so that nobody is going over your head. Just the basic rudiments. You don't need to know too much. Even I can't see it. Okay. I have tips for networking here because I mentioned that 70% of raising financing for business is about networking, right? So I have tips here, and I'm just using styles to see if I can see some of them. Okay, the first one is you have to keep in touch with everybody here. I know they say that a lot, right? Your net worth is your network. So everybody in this room is a potential investor in your business. I know it sounds far-fetched. You're looking at that guy, this guy that doesn't have 5K in his pocket, but tomorrow that guy could have 50M. Trust me, that guy I'm not even joking. The investments that have come from people in my class at Lagos Business School is probably over 50 million naira now, from people in my class. But at the time we're in school, a lot of them, didn't even know where they're going to get the next meal from. But today, the story is different for a lot of them, right? So very important. So that guy by your side, just, in case you don't have him on your contact list, you might want to change your mind. Yes, you have to, I think you should engage on social media if you can, if you don't mind. You can pick one, you can pick two. I'm active across major social media. Very difficult when you have to balance it with work, but it's very rewarding. Very rewarding if you can keep up with it and let it not affect, obviously, studies and work and business. Okay. Yeah. So the next point here, just in case you can't see it, is about reaching out to potential investors to build a relationship with them before you need it. So if you have people in mind that you want to partner with, you want to reach out to them before you need the money from them. You want to attend and participate at conferences like this, and very important, you want to be known as somebody people can trust. And how you get that is by keeping your word, right? I know it sounds simple, but it's very, very important. Say you're going to call somebody by 12 p.m., call them by 12 p.m. Say you're going to do something tomorrow, just do it. These little things matter. I've been in conversations where somebody refused to do business with people because the person said he was going to call yesterday and he didn't call, even if it's unrelated. But people typically use those kind of things to determine the kind of person you are. And yes, they want to bounce me. I'll be going, I think, just one more slide. Okay, so I touched on some of the trends that I think will shape the healthcare business. I already spoke about the fact that I think you should hone your craft right now in medical school. The rate at which doctors are traveling, I'm not saying you shouldn't travel, but if you are thinking of it in terms of scarcity, I think in the next 10 to 15 years, doctors are going to be very high demand here because a lot of people are going to go. So if you are business minded, that's an opportunity to tap into. Obviously, I've already spoken about tech, very important. You don't need to be a web developer or a coder, but you should at least be able to speak the language because it's going to play a very big role in the future. Something else, I think, again, just more emphasis on being better doctors. We have a lot more informed patients now because of Google. I don't know if you guys are in medical school, have you met people arguing with you over something you learned something in the lab, or you learned something as a trained doctor, and somebody just goes to Google and they're arguing with you about something you're going to spend 5 to 7 years learning. But that's the trend that we are seeing, right? You need to hone your craft better. Some other opportunities we are seeing, health insurance, big opportunity in the market for that because a lot of people are not insured right now. And there's also going to be a very, very big demand for any medical person that is also very knowledgeable in business and finance. So what we are seeing now is a lot of investors are looking for doctors. I thought it's called every time. Knowledgeable in finance and business. It's a gold mine, trust me. And I think I'll just leave it at that. So hopefully I'll get the chance to engage with some more people here. I'm sorry I had to rush the slides, but yeah, I came prepared for you guys. And hopefully we can still engage. Thank you very much for listening.
Alright guys, one more time, I'm going to put hands together for Mr. Babatunde. One more time, please come put hands together for Mr. Babatunde. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was our very own lovely Mr. Babatunde, the first keynote speaker for this event. So, before we move on to the question and answer segment, my name is Alade Kayode, popularly known as MCK. So, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that slight break. So, my name is MCK, popularly known as 3-1 Entertainer, and I'll be hosting this event with our very own lovely, the corporate MC. Without wasting much of our time, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the question and answer segment. So, if you have a question that you want to ask our first keynote speaker, that's the person of Mr. Babatunde, you can please put your hands up. But if you are shy, because why shall you shy? If you are shy, locate the protocol officer or a protocol member beside you. You can write your questions down in a sheet of paper and give it to them. They'll forward it to me and I'll read it out. But if you are not shy, if you are bold as a lion, please, you can put your hands up if you have a question. Anybody with a question? Anybody? Okay, I see one question. We can start with please, everyone. Anybody with questions? If you have questions, please. Please step outside, please, if you have questions. Thank you very much. Thank you, if you have a question, thank you. 2 questions. No, you can still come if you have questions. Okay. Once we close the window, please keep the questions you have to yourself. And if you are sure, you can write it down, forward it to the protocol member standing beside you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. My name is Olade Iwewa. I'm trying from the levels of medicine subject. Very good. Thank you so much, Mr. Babatunde. I really enjoyed the presentation, though I came in disease. Please, my question is, when you are talking about the different types of business we have, talk about startup, talk about traditional business. So, in this present material, what is your perspective on traditional business and startup? Which do you think is the future, and which one is easier to dwell in at the moment? And my second question is, I think particularly gets the course that you did in university. I want to know if what you're doing now, I mean, the speaker more of it, is it related to your course? Well, if I have any other question, I will ask. But for now, those are the one I can. Thank you.
A round of applause for you. All right, thank you very much, sir. I'm Oshima Akinde. I'm also in Fibroid medicine. My question, when you are talking about raising funds for business, you said it's mainly through 2 ways, debt and equity. And the equity, you talked about shareholders buying shares in your company. I just have, my question is around that area. I've heard of saying, I'm involved in the startup currently. And I've heard Jack Ma also mention that when he was starting Alibaba, it was just books. Never had idea it would grow that big. In Yaboeji early this year, he also mentioned that he co-founded Mandela and he co-founded Flutterwave. 2 years thereabouts, Flutterwave hit their first $1 billion. Very huge. They never knew they could fast. For 6 months, first 6 months, they said they had to work with just a client. Also, for the first 6 months, they never knew they could grow that big. Where my question comes in is, how do you estimate the worth of your company or your startup in about 10 years' time for you to know, okay, this is the amount this shareholder is buying, this is the amount just in that area, getting equity for your business or your startup? Thank you, sir.
questions, but I'll try my best. He said, which form of business is better? It all depends on your, you can't really say anyone is better, to be honest. So I'll give you examples. If you are the kind of person that wants to really be free, you want to travel, you want to be bound by maybe a geography location, then those are people that do lifestyle businesses, right? Because anywhere you are, you can shoot an Instagram, post and just make money from that. If you compare traditional and startup businesses, to be honest, you have the potential to make a lot of money within a relatively short period of time. When I say short period, I'm talking about 5 years. The sustainability of that money is another question again. So for example, the way startups work, the way they make money is, or the way the owners make money is, you start a business, you increase the valuation very fast. So for example, you start a business worth 1 million today, 1 million naira. You get that valuation to 100 million naira very quickly. That means the business has grown by 100 times. Then you sell your shares in it. Then you make times 100 of what you invested initially. That is how they make money in startups. That might not really be sustainable because it doesn't address the primary business model. But what it does is you have shares in the business and you sell it for a very high price. But it doesn't guarantee sustainability. But you can make money very quickly within a short period of time. So that is the advantage of the startup model. But the traditional model is a lot slower, but it is more sustainable. So you buy a phone 50 naira, you sell it 55 naira, you book a 5 naira profit. Tomorrow you buy 2, you book 10 naira profit. They are doing it slowly. You hire one person today, 2 months time, you hire 2 people. You are growing slowly. 10 years, you can still be running that business. That's how startups do. Startups, if I get $10 million today, I'll be required to expand around the world, hire people that want to earn 1 million naira per month and grow very, very quickly because my objective is to increase my valuation. I might do that, but it doesn't guarantee that the business is sustainable in the longer term. Traditional businesses work on revenue and profit, not investor funds like most startups do. Many of them have been successful, right? Facebook, Twitter, Netflix partially, but Facebook, Twitter, at least Uber is still unprofitable till today. Twitter hardly makes profit. Amazon hardly makes profit. Startups, that's its advantage. I don't know if that makes sense. Did everybody understand what I just said? Okay. That's the first question. Is my course relevant? Yes, my course is very relevant. I studied economics, first degree at Owen University, and to be honest, it's been very, very relevant because at the end of the day, I started my career at KPMG, and I moved to PwC. I became a qualified accountant. So along those lines, right, economics has business, accounting in it, so it's very relevant. But that being said, it's only a few fields like your course now, what you guys are doing, medical school, what you're doing is very practical. So it's there's a high potential for you to be able to apply it. Most people in my class never got to use their knowledge because a lot of places I employ, apart from very specialist places like maybe hospitals, maybe engineers and co. Once you have a 2-1 and above, you can get a job in almost anywhere. Most of the multinationals in Nigeria, once you have a 2-1, even if it's in Russian language, they just believe they are sharp and they can train you. So that's the practical truth. So you can actually decide to pivot to somewhere. But like I said, I think health is going to be a major, big commercial space in the next decade or so. Estimating value of, second speaker now. Estimating the value of a startup is more an art than a science. Okay, wait, first let me go back. There's valuation for traditional businesses, there's valuation for startups. Valuation for traditional businesses, that one you can, it's very easy, you can, not easy, but you can actually read up on that. They have specific methods. They look at your revenue, your profits, you project it, and you do what they call a either discounted cash flow valuation, or you do a multiple valuation. But that one is very mathematical. It's based on your numbers. Now, for startups, like I said, that one is more an art and how much you can negotiate. So let me give you an example. When we started our business, we had a very low valuation because there's so many things I didn't know then. But now, as a second time, if I ever want to do another business, as a second time founder, I'll go to investors and I'll say, you know what, I need $1 million for, I need $1 million at a $5 million valuation. And they say, what do you want to use the $1 million for? And this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. And if they are convinced, they will just give me the money. It's that simple. So what we'll be having about now is, we think, so $1 million at the $5 million valuation is 20%, right? So what they can start haggling about now is, no, let's make your valuation maybe $4 million so that I get 25% of the business. Or you want to even argue that, no, especially if you meet a Nigerian investor that doesn't understand the startup space, you can't speak all this grammar. Person is going to say, I'll give you 100 million naira. For most venture capitalists and angel investors that understand how startups work, it's really a question of their perception of you and how you can negotiate. But again, second time, third time founders like Nyaboeji, Simshagaya, all those guys, they can raise $5 million and not have made one naira. But it's more difficult for a first time founder, except if you have very, very deep.
Thank you. Please let them answer together, Mr. Babangida. Sorry, sir, very quickly, we have another question here. So, sir, very quickly, this says, please, I would love you to expatiate on a doctor having finance and tech knowledge. What extra courses do they need to take, and how do they get this knowledge? The person's name is, I think, Miss Oluwafumilayo. She's asking that. Yeah, Oluwafumilayo. Oluwafumilayo. And my own personal question, sir. We talked about networking being 70%. So I'm also asked, if I go to an event, for example, let's take this as an example, I meet you, I collect your contacts, we exchange details, I'm following you on Instagram and all that. How do I keep connecting to you? Is it that every morning I'm like, come on, Isa, ask family? Or how do I maintain that network? Thank you very much. Very good, sir.
Yeah, the first question about doctors having business and tech knowledge. To be honest, the easiest thing you can do, two things. One is YouTube. YouTube is very useful. It's just that you have to see about what you are going to learn there. So, why I say YouTube is there's so much resource now for free. You can Google what you're looking for and just watch videos on YouTube. I didn't know anything about technology before. I use YouTube and I use books to sort of reach that gap. But if you are serious about learning it, there's more than enough knowledge online. So just, get somebody. I know that's a very broad answer, but really that's the truth. It's that simple. As a free entry barrier to getting in. For tech, there are a lot of free tech resources online. You can just Google getting started in tech and you see a lot of information. Again, like I said, you don't need to know how to code. You just need to understand maybe the software development process, the roles in software, what constitutes a software team. That's for software. If you are doing hardware, a different set of skills. Just know what it pertains. You're not looking for very deep knowledge. For business, there's more generalized available information for business. So for example, if you can do an MBA. If you don't want to do an MBA, it's not compulsory. I'll just give you an example. There's this book called the Personal Mba. You can Google it, write it down. If you are very serious and you can apply the principles in that book, for example, they take you through almost everything in an MBA course. There are many MBAs and there are business people online that you can follow, right? So Googling, getting books is your first port of call. For business knowledge and finance knowledge, you can actually do courses, you can do mini MBAs. I think MBA is good in terms of how broad it is, but like I said, some MBAs can be expensive. So you want to, just check out the ones that are applicable to you. For your question on how to network, I think that's a very dicey question because events are different, right? So in this event, you already know most of the people. I think if you're trying to network with, when I go to events like this and there's a speaker, maybe like myself, people are always trying to get their attention, and you're not going to be able to remember a lot of the faces that you've seen because everybody is trying to hustle to make an impression, right? So like you said, you want to keep in touch. You can't be a pest. If not, person will run away. You're always saying good morning, sir, good morning, sir. I think the most valuable thing you can do is think, which is not easy, of how you can be of value to that person. That's the easiest way to really connect with somebody on a deeper level. So, person is doing a birthday, I can person a book. You can, if you see a post on maybe the child's birthday, you can send a cake for the son. I mean, those are things that get you, like access and really ingrained in the person's memory. You have to just think of how can you help this person before you ask, and don't expect the relationship to yield fruits immediately. A lot of the relationships, like two of my investors, I've known them for almost 15 years now. Never collected a dime from them. Anything they need or they ask me to do, I just do it for them, and I don't ask for anything in return. And that sort of paid off, even if it's over, like I said, 15 years. So it's not all relationships will pay off immediately. You have to cultivate it, and you have to be patient, and you can't be too demanding. It's different for, if you are shooting your shot for something direct. No babes. When you're shooting your shot, if you want to send an investor a page or something like that, that's the point I was trying to make you. So something that people do, which I didn't do enough of, but I'm getting better at it now, is you want to be sending them updates of what you are doing. So I asked you today, please invest 10 million, person is not interested. No voila. Next month, just send person an update. This month we signed our 1,000 customer, we expanded to 2 states. May not say anything. Third month, give the person another update, send the person another update. They are just registering in the person's subconscious over time. Now, like I said, that relationship might take a while to play out, but it will pay out eventually, right? So keeping the person updated, building a relationship over time, and looking for ways to be of value is the way to really build deeper relationships. You won't get that value today by talking to me. You might get it in the next 6 months to 1 year.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, one more time, let's join us together for this
Please, we can do better than that. Let's go our part. All right, so quickly, before I bring up the person that will be speaking next and our second speaker, someone has been on, one of our guest speakers has been on the Zoom course, so that's why I was trying to work with them, and it's about, no, it's fine. Just once again, a round of applause for Mr. Over today. So right about now, do we have the technical team ready? I'm going to be linking us up with Barrister Jimo Ibrahim. How many of us know Barrister Jimo Ibrahim? Wow. Because I'm not seeing hands. Some people are like, can it be the same Jimo Ibrahim? No, maybe it's that one, this one is the student. No, it's the actor, Barrister Jimo. Alright, so do we have him now? Like, can he hear us? Good morning, sir. Oh, good afternoon. Okay, we're still in the morning, 5 minutes. He's muted. I think he can hear us, but we can't hear him. Alright, we still can hear you. I can see that you're saying hello because I know how to read lips, but not many people here have that talent. Okay. We said the technical. So he's just going to speak to us for about 5 minutes or so. You can see he's in transit. He's going somewhere. Now, quickly, while we're trying to fix that, about networking, what he said is important. See, you have to do your research. Like, follow up. When they have a big win, message them. Good morning. Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir. Can you hear us too, sir? No.
Thank you. Are you set now?
Well, set now, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me apologize for not being there physically. Just 2 days ago, I got movements from my school in Cambridge to do my Bible. I'm a PhD student at the University of Cambridge. I'm going to do my Bible next week. It's a 400 pages, so it takes some time to prepare for that. And that's why I couldn't come physically. So I'm very sorry about that. I hope that is taken.
Yes, we can hear you very well, sir.
That's good. So let me also congratulate all of you for studying medicine. That's a very good course, and you have in your hands the opportunity to be successful enough with that course. So it depends on how you get handle it. Now, I will talk to you on two important things, and that's what I talked to my children about.